Teeth. Hello.
CBS FM, we are family. I've got all my asshole siblings with me. CBS FM. I hate family. I don't want to see those bees.
It reminds me that uncle touched me.
Why is it always the uncle? I'm an uncle, you know.
Mm-hmm. So do you make a conscious effort not to be sexually attracted to your nephews?
No, I don't have to make a conscious effort.
You're a good uncle.
I just don't know why it's always assigned. Why can't it just be a creep cousin or something?
Well, it is typically. Because your parents, it's more on the scale of, horrible.
It's a hack joke, the uncle. The uncle has been shit on for long enough.
Are you shitting on me already for making a
No,
hack joke?
I'm just defending the uncle. There are many more good uncles out there than bad uncles.
Well, that's the same way with a guy named Chester. I'm sure that there are plenty of good Chesters out there, but your name rhymes with molester.
I think at that point you're saved by Chester Cheetah. Because
ooh, it ain't easy being cheesy. Remember when Chester Cheetah was really cool?
Well, to finish that thought, when I heard you say Chester, I didn't think molester. I thought of the orange cheetah. So having Chester wouldn't be an awful name. You probably
and honestly, I thought of the guy from Lincoln Park. Wasn't his name Chester?
Yeah, Rip.
Yeah, Rip.
Bennington.
Chester Bennington the third.
Damn, my hands were not on the home keys. My fingers were not on the home keys. I tried typing Chester Bennington and I typed CHWARWEVWBBUBFRIB.
Do you ever do that on your phone when it's stuck in the numbers and you type out U and it's like 6, 7, no, 0?
Home keys.
Home row.
No, the home keys. Never heard home row. It sounds like a shanty town.
You all out in Kennesaw.
I
grew up
in the home row. My shanty with the tarp roof.
My shanty mama.
And the spittoon sink. Home keys on a
home
keyboard.
Home row.
No, the home key.
Okay, you know what? Home row is where the home keys live.
Sure. We're arguing semantics at this point. Anyway,
let's get loud.
Chester Cheetah, was he ever cool? I mean, I know what you're saying. They tried to make him cool, but he didn't.
No, yeah, I don't mean
he was
like
trying
he was
too
cool.
hard.
Yeah, I don't mean that he was cool. Like, wow, that guy's so cool. More just like he was laid back and he was cheesy.
There was a common marketing ploy. Remember the 7-Up dots, whatever the hell they were called?
No. What?
Yeah, 7-Up had the marketing program where the red dot from 7-Up was a thing, and they had sunglasses. The California raisins were cool.
I was
too,
just going to say those raisins. My mom brought a bunch of stuff that was mine that she had been saving. And one of them is a California raisin. And Pete thinks it's really gross. He's like, that's gross.
Because raisins are gross.
No, but because he thinks it looks bad. I think I have it. Keep talking. I'm going to go get it.
The 7-Up dot, also known as Cool Spot, was a mascot for 7-Up in the United States. He first appeared in 1987, the same year Fido Dido was released to PepsiCo. I have no clue.
What's Fido Dido?
I don't know.
Look it. California raisin.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy looking.
Yeah. Remember when Ray Charles or somebody was like, you got the right one, baby, for Pepsi?
Yeah, they were trying so hard. Fido Dido, I don't remember this at all. Licensed to PepsiCo in 1988, and it didn't receive much attention or popularity until the 90s.
Okay.
I barely remember this Fido Dido piece of junk. It's funny, though, that the raisins, the raisin farmers of America, decided that they needed to push their product so much that they created the California raisins. And then it was a TV show, the claymation. I know there was a cartoon also.
I don't remember ever seeing the cartoon. I remember the commercials, though.
The claymation?
Because you're right, they were claymation, yeah. That's a lot of work. If you think about, like, first of all, you're a raisin company or whatever. And you're like, I need to get some advertising for these raisins for some reason. And then you go to them and say, okay, we want to make a commercial, but we want to make it one of the most difficult, time-consuming productions. So 6 years from now, we'll have 30 seconds for a commercial.
Hey, if someone pays for it, there are people out there who will do it.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. Is the effort
what song
worth?
did they were singing like Motown?
This is the intro for the cartoon. This is not Motown.
Oh, yeah, it's not a commercial.
Chunky but funky, we can lay it down. Cool is the rule, 'cause the music's so refined.
You might have heard about us through the old grapevine.
Get it?
We're not rules of days. Yeah. We're no ordinary grade.
Why? I don't understand the point of this. Everything in the 80s, we really got fucked over. They just shoved advertising down our throats.
Yeah. Were there a bunch of like triangles and squiggles flying around? I imagine.
No, right now they're surfing. So there's a piano keyboard that's kind of squiggling through the air.
Okay.
And they're sliding down it. One of them's playing the bass guitar. Right now.
We're the bubble, we're the view. And don't forget about the sweet colors, the California raisins.
There you go. There's the triangles and the background that came up. 30,
it did?
30 seconds in. So
That was the 80s. The background of Saved by the Bell is the 80s.
that's what this looks like.
Amazing raisin.
All right, it's enough of that shit. Did raisin sales go up? Did they really skyrocket?
I remember getting and liking those teeny little boxes of raisins. You know, in the red, I forget what this company is. It
Sunbeam?
Sunbeam? Okay. The tiny box of raisins and getting them out of the bottom, and they kind of stain or like left little remnants of, I don't know what, raisin juice, raisin goo, like on the inside of the box. It was kind of waxy.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I like raisins.
I just stole a bunch of trail mix from the office because they had a shoot and they left the snacks behind. And I knew there were going to be raisins in it, but the proportion of raisins is outrageous. There's more raisins in there than anything else.
Well, do you think that that's because everyone that was it opened?
I mean, they were individual packs.
Oh, okay. Because I was imagining that people were like fishing through the raisins.
No, yeah, they weren't. I wouldn't grab something where people had their paws in it.
Yeah.
Previously, looking for the M&Ms. This also is stupid about this trail mix. There's peanuts in it. There's M&Ms. But then sometimes there's a peanut M&M in there. It's like, why?
What?
The peanuts are already here with the M&Ms. I can create my own peanut M&M.
Weird.
Hey.
It's weird that they would include maybe like you get like a magic one in there that's like a pretzel M&M thing inside.
I bit it open to make sure. I thought maybe this is a different kind. Nope, it was a peanut M&M.
I don't really like peanut M&Ms. I know that they're supposed to be superior to other M&Ms or regular M&Ms, but I don't know. I think regular M&Ms are pretty cool.
If I had to pick, I would pick the regular.
Yeah, oh, good. Because I feel like people would say the opposite.
The plain, as they used to call them. But no, we can't call things plain anymore.
What do they call it? A ridge?
Probably just milk chocolate.
Oh. OG.
A ridge.
OGMM.
I'm glad they didn't go with OG. I'm surprised.
I know, I am too. But I do wish that they did a little bit, because then it would just be all letters. OGMM.
After 46 years as plain M&Ms, the chocolate-coated candies are being renamed milk chocolate.
Just call them like ordinary.
Yeah, when I go and get a slice of pizza, I say, give me a plain. They know what that means. People, is that really going to turn somebody away? Man, not knowing what the hell an M&M is. So maybe if you're one of these people who doesn't know and you go in and you're looking through candy, M&Ms, what are the, plain. Oh, plain. I don't want something that tastes plain. So,
I'm not plain, so I'm not going to purchase anything that has the word plain on it.
Some of this stuff is overthought. I just fucking overthink it. I guess maybe it does have some kind of impact. I'm sure they do studies. Sales are up since we changed it to milk chocolate.
So, like, someone might respond differently to the word plain, right? Respond negatively to plain. But when you're talking about something like an M&M, you know what I mean? It's not about the word plain. It's just about knowing that it's the... Yeah, it doesn't...
Also, why should plain be a negative thing? Being plain.
No, I don't think it should be, but I think that it would make sense. Like, if you have a choice between two words and one says plain and one says with something, you're like, maybe with something. Depends on what it is, though.
I don't like the way we're presenting plain. If a person's plain, that shouldn't be bad. Not everyone.
Sarah Plain and Tall.
Yeah, not everyone needs to be exceptional. Oh, this person does so much with their life. Look at the way they dress. They're fashionable and they
That's true.
scale
But
rocks.
people do feel like that. There's a pressure.
Look,
to
there's
not be
7.5 billion people. You're nothing. You're nothing.
I know.
You can try with all your might to set yourself apart so you can feel like you're superior than the others and you're better than the others. You're nothing. So just accept it. And then once you accept it, whatever you want to do after you've accepted it, that's who you are and that's who you should be. If you still want to scale some rocks while wearing designer clothing, because that's who you are, then fine. I have no problem with it. But if that's only something you're doing because it sets you apart, get out of here. You're nothing.
But I'm a California raisin and I'm chunky, but I'm funky. Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fisher.
A Fisher. My name is Greg Russ with no. Nope, I'm not going to add any kind of affectation. I don't want my name to sound fancier than it really is. It's a boring, plain name. All that discussion about plain M&Ms. I have a plain name, and I am proud of it.
Okay.
Greg Russ.
I want you to be filled with a peanut.
Grigorus. Nope. Nope. People can't comprehend, but it's just so plain.
Why don't you should just go by Gregory. Really amp up your status.
It sounds a bit pretentious. That's why I don't do it. I was thinking about that the other day. What is the topic? Oh, the topic is your topic. It's teeth.
Even though it's your week, I still suggested a topic.
I said, you want to talk about teeth, huh? I hope you have things to say. And you said, I just want to talk about teeth.
Well, isn't that what this show is about?
Yeah, but I could say I want to talk about a blade of grass. And then I could say, that was a beautiful blade of grass and had a waxy sheen to it. It was 1 inch too tall. I took out the mower and I cut it down. And that's it. So that's not a full podcast. That's the point.
Yes, it's a bad topic.
Well, that's teeth. Maybe a good topic, maybe a bad topic.
Well, let's find out, shall we?
That's why I was asking if you had things to talk about with teeth. As always, I'm just curious, as always, why?
Because I go into like this mode when we're not sure about what our topic should be, and I just do like stream of conscious thinking. Like teeth.
That's it. Nothing happened in your life that made you think of teeth?
No, well, of course, things happen in your life that have to do with your teeth.
I mean, to lead up to this topic, though, Ellie didn't fall
nothing.
and smash her teeth on some rocks.
Nope.
Pete didn't bite into a wrench.
Well, Ellie has like all. How many teeth is she missing? Like 4 teeth on the top. She only has 3 on each side, starting from the back. So her whole front is like toothless. She has like no teeth.
Yeah, so she can't eat corn on the cob.
No, she couldn't. She can't eat an apple. I mean, I have to cut it, but like Pete will, take an apple and eat it to its core, and Ellie cannot. Like she literally can't.
Interesting that she lost all her teeth. So, I mean, I feel like mine were spaced out over years. I also wasn't the kind of kid who would wiggle a loose tooth. I would leave it alone. It struck fear into my heart. I would leave the fucking thing alone in hopes that it would not ever fall out. And it really disgusted me when I wiggled it. And
really?
It bothered me and instilled anxiety.
Oh, I was the kid that was like, look, and I'd wiggle it with my tongue. I would want to keep it in too. Like I never wanted to just yank it out or have anybody else yank it for me. But I for some reason, because it was on me, it didn't gross me out.
I had retainers that had big blocks on them.
Mm-hmm.
I was fixing an overbite. And they didn't give me braces or anything. So I had these retainers that had blocks that fit over my molars.
Mm-hmm.
And in the bottom, there were blocks on the back. It was all over the molars, but the bottom was, maybe it was the front. I think it was the front. Whatever. The point is the blocks would lock in place and then would keep the overbite from being overbite and I guess over time adjusted the natural positioning of my jaw. But
wow.
Because these things fit over my molars. I know you don't lose all your molars, but some come out, the front ones, the ones that are closer.
I guess. And then they also I don't remember losing a molar.
No, but there were some because there was one that was loose, and I refused to take the retainer out then because that block held it in place because it fit over. And so I would just leave that thing in constantly, and I hated taking it out because I felt as though it was a brace. It was a brace keeping the tooth in place. I didn't want to lose any of my teeth. I remember clear as day when I finally did lose that tooth. I was eating a combo and bit into it, and the tooth came out, and that taste, that blood on your gum.
Yeah,
There's
the
that,
iron.
Yeah, and clear as day, this is flashing back. I know that this happens all the time, but I have a fucked up relationship, I guess, with teeth, and that goes back to my childhood. But we'll get into that, I guess, later.
I never had any braces or anything.
The end. That was.
Is this how this is going to go?
No.
Every time I bring up a topic, you have to be scared that it's not going to go well, and then just constantly comment that it's not going well instead of just going with me.
I did go with you. You said I never had them. And then there was that pause.
Well, because I expected you to maybe react to it.
I did react to it. I
just feel like lately this is something that keeps happening. Where you're like, Autumn has a topic. Let's see if she can pull it off. And then during the podcast, you're like, this topic's not going that great.
I'm not trying to derail the topic. I ask up front. I think
you're like Sex in the City. You're like, oh, the whole thing. Like, are we just going to...
I get unsettled when I ask, okay, well, what's the idea behind this? Like, I don't know. It's like, oh.
Isn't that what we've always done?
No, there's always been some kind of thought put into it. It's like, why am I thinking about this? Or what happened to my life? And when...
Yeah, but as we continue, it's going to be harder and harder to come up with those things. So I just thought teeth. Let's talk about teeth. I want to talk about how they smell gross when you floss and how you dream about spitting them out and what that does. People that grind their teeth. People that have disgusting teeth, people that always seem to lose those back molars as you get older. People are always missing those.
Okay, that's fine.
We can talk about stuff.
That's fine, but I like for there to be a setup that gets us into that instead of just, I want to talk about this. Hey, how about that? I think that was the thing with the Sex in the City episode, where it's like Sex in the City. Now let's just talk about different scenes and things that happened.
Yeah, so we could laugh about them and make jokes, but instead it had to have some I don't know, plot when.
Yeah, because this is a show.
No, because I would want to listen to a podcast where someone was talking about stuff and I'd be like, yeah, totally.
We can get into those things. You just have to put in a little bit of work to get into those things. There has to be a path instead of just, here we are randomly talking about these things. That's why you get that reaction from me. And I apologize if you feel as though I'm not on your side. I think of it this way. Okay, random things about teeth all over the place. What is someone getting when they listen to this other than I think about those things too? I view it as our job to bring up angles and ideas that are a little bit deeper. It doesn't have to be deep in a serious manner, but a little more thoughtful than what the average idiot at a party drunk would say. It's like, hey.
Yeah, but I don't feel like that's what we would do.
Well, I feel as though when we just jump into things, that's why I'd like to have some structure.
You're too worried about what people might be thinking.
I'm not too worried.
Instead of just having a conversation with me about
No. While I do worry constantly about what people think, this is me and a standard that I've set for myself. I would like to do a show that has a bit of shape to it. Obviously, we go on tangents, we do our thing. Wherever it leads us, go with the flow. I just like us to set it up in a way other than just, hey, I saw a cloud. Clouds, rain. Sometimes when it rains, there's a leak. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
I look, do you feel abandoned by me? Do you feel unsupported?
No, I understand. No, because I'm not, I'm hearing you. I hear what you're saying. I don't know.
It's been happening. I agree. Yes, yeah. I challenge you when you present your topics, and
it makes it feel like, oh, we can't have fun. Like we can't free flow into this because you keep stopping it and making it be a certain way instead of it just being what it is.
I was just curious. I wanted to hear a thesis on teeth.
I know, but to me, that doesn't feel like a flow. Do you know what I mean? To me, our strength is that we can talk about stuff. And when you keep trying to like keep it within a too tight of a boundary, then it stops. Like it's bad improv. Do you know what I mean? Like it stops everything.
Yeah, well, art with confinement and restrictions usually is better. It challenges you to work within a
I understand that,
bit
but
of rules.
But our thing is that we talk about stuff and that we're interesting and we bring things to the table.
That's the thing. I agree that we can be interesting,
Uh-huh.
but if we're just surface level skimming, throwing out random thoughts here and there, then we're not that interesting.
Right, but I think that if you just let that go, then it will go somewhere interesting. But instead, you keep constraining it and making it have a specific path, and then we could never explore where we might go naturally. Do you see what I mean? I understand what you're saying. I understand, like, you're thinking of it. We're just thinking of it in different ways. I'm thinking that the path to interesting will present itself because of who we are. You're thinking that
That's cocky.
we're not going to be interesting unless we keep it a certain way. So,
Here's the way I think about it. There's a destination in mind. That destination to me is a decent show, maybe even a good show, but at least a decent show. And I know that the decent show is in this direction for the sake of this, because no one can see me pointing my hand in a certain direction. Let's say that is northeast.
okay.
We need to head northeast. So we'll start heading northeast towards that decent show. Along the way, though, I'm completely open to taking different paths. We don't have to stick to the original route. Let's see where we go, but we know we're heading in the proper direction. When we just jump into things randomly, it's like, the good show is northeast, but I'm just going to start walking, and I don't know if that's northeast. That could be south. That could be west.
No, the northeast is teeth. And with the freedom to explore and go, we'll come up with different things.
We just need
Maybe
some
we'll
guidance.
be reminded of a story of someone's teeth or their mouth or something. And that will lead us somewhere else that's like not on the topic of teeth, but then we'll come back to it.
We've always done it this way. And the best shows were the ones where there was some idea, bigger
Like the
idea,
topic.
overarching. Yeah, I know it's the topic, but then there's the nuance of the topic.
Right.
Anyway.
And I feel constricted by, I understand what you're doing. I don't want to
be two fucking goons who we're just talking about things.
But we're not goons. Like, I trust that we're not goons and that we will say something interesting.
Well, not being a goon takes some effort. Because I just think of other people like, I'm going to do a podcast.
Yeah, see, you're comparing and you're thinking about stuff like that. And I'm not doing that. I'm not thinking ahead of like what someone may
I don't think it's a bad thing.
our show as, or
I
us talking.
I don't think it's a bad thing to say, I don't want to sound like a podcast that's just two idiots.
Yeah, because I don't believe. No, you're right. That's totally true. But I would never think that people would think that about us because we're not that. And if they think that about us,
No,
then
but the
they're
potential to be that is there. That's why what sets it apart is, those people have the ability, and then just having the ability to do something. Like, I know how to make a table. That's something that we have, the knowledge of how to make a table, but then you still need to actually do it. And there's a structure and a method to doing it. There are different methods and different ways. But just, I know how to make it. That's not enough. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. And I don't, like I said, I don't think that you're wrong in the way that you're thinking. I just think for me, it feels like it's harder to have a natural flowing conversation about whatever the topic might
Well, I
be.
think we both want a natural flowing conversation when we just jump around from random thought to random thought about any specific topic.
But that was just that one episode of the Sex and the City one.
But that doesn't feel natural and flowing to me. That feels disjointed and clunky. And that's where the resistance comes in. I was like, what is going on here? There's no, what's the point? And that's
Well, now I feel like this is a bad topic.
it doesn't need to be a bad topic.
Well, especially when I keep thinking now about the last thing I said. I was like, I didn't have braces. Now I feel like an idiot.
Well, see, now you know why I said okay. There was no point. There was no point to bring that up. There was nowhere to go with it.
That's like in your improv thing where you're like, I didn't. What is the story that you have?
The one where the Renaissance fair and the woman was like, I wore my bird suit. And I said, I didn't wear mine.
Yeah. That's what I did to you just now.
Yeah. And that's a point of shame in my life thinking about that. I panicked and I killed the scene. And I think about things. I want to present enough material to work with.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have braces. See, you've come around.
No, what I'm saying is that I see your point. I still see my own point, but
I understand your point
what
too.
you're
What you want lives in what we do. If we just get on a path and then we can jump around.
Maybe you also have been feeling like
I just want
there hasn't been enough structure from me. And so maybe you've sort of tightened up your parameters a little bit and I can feel that and it's annoying.
Well,
and maybe if I gave you more reason to trust me, right, by having more structure to what I bring, then you would trust me more to go off a little bit weirder. So I get it.
Even if it was something like I was just staring at my teeth in the mirror the other day, thinking how it's so strange that we have these growths that come out of our
to
gums.
me, will come up naturally. Like I don't need a reason. You know what I mean? Like I don't need an event or a seed to start the discussion of a topic. That stuff will come. Like I think that, like I said, I understand your point, but the other part of it is I felt like as we continue to talk, that will come up. You're like, what are these things? And why do we just accept that they're in our heads?
I don't have any teeth. That's where we are at the end.
Okay. Can I say something?
No.
Why?
Yes, of course. I just think it's weird that you're asking.
I just have really enjoyed this discussion just now because I feel like it's fun after, trying to change your perspective or change behavior or, becoming more mentally healthy. I feel like talks like this, like I brought something up, you brought up your point. I wasn't trying to argue with you or win. This is just from my perspective. I wanted to hear what you had to say and I cared about what you were saying. And I felt that you heard me too. And I felt like the temperature didn't go up. I didn't feel upset. I didn't feel mad. I didn't feel anything except like, let's talk about this quick, and I just thought this was cool.
Yeah, because this is normal shit. The fear that things are going to escalate and people, I mean, maybe there's plenty of people out there who do get angry and yell and raise their voice, but whatever, this is normal. People have conflict and any kind of relationship.
Yeah.
And so to avoid it, it's pretty ridiculous because it's a natural thing. So I'm glad.
Well,
that
and
you
then
feel
to make it worse by just continuing to defend my point so that, not to say that I feel like I'm wrong or you've proven me. I think I hear what you're saying and I think you hear what I'm saying.
You're still wrong.
Well,
just jumping around disjointedly. Totally wrong.
Well,
you're the free spirit. I'm the one who's
No, I don't think it's about being right. No, it's not about being right or wrong.
Better at this. And by letting you, early on, I let you just guide the show. You're the one who introduces the show and takes us out, and you're still not good at it.
What do you mean? Taking us out, you mean?
Yeah, at the end of the show.
I've gotten so much better.
No, every time you just give up on it. And there's something about it that you like. I feel you like. You're like, that's just what I do. I don't really care about the stuff that needs to go into giving the show form and structure. And that's fine. Like, I don't give a shit about the end of the show that much. And I think it's funny. And that's why it's never come up before. And even it coming up now is not a thing where I'm thinking, but it's just a good example of you. Like, I don't really care about the way the
because
structure.
I feel stupid. Like, I feel like shilly. And it's weird.
And I get that.
For this.
Well, that's because you're
for this-
promoting your friend's hot sauce that we see no. So it is shilly. It's like, buy the hot sauce. But that's
But I love the hot sauce. What I'm saying
hot
is, though,
sauce is good.
in this
But-
context, because it is such a an emotionally open place, to then switch to like selling something voice and ending a show properly feels odd to me. You know, to all of a sudden be like a professional, when we're
yes, which I hear you, because I hate pushing products. It's something
right.
that
So you push the product and end it in the shilly way.
I just don't think we need to push the product, maybe. But
I know we should ask for some money. I know that people use the code.
well, that's good. I'm glad they use the code. Sell it. One topic, 15. Is that the code?
Yeah, one topic 15, you get 15% off some really great locally made in Chattanooga hot sauce. They have lots of different options.
What's it called?
It's a Hoff sauce.
Oh, sauce.
Hoffandpepper.com.
There you go.
One
See?
topic 15.
See, easy enough. But anyway, the show itself, I feel like there's a pitcher of water. You just want to pour the water out on the counter. You don't care where it goes. And I'm not even saying here's a glass. I'm saying here's a bowl. Look, that's just contain it a bit.
You don't think I want to pour the water on the counter?
Yeah, here's even a sink. Let's just look. There's a container. That way, it's not completely messy. That's all I'm asking. It's like just they'll pour it into this container. There's plenty of room in this container to go wherever we need to go. But let's just kind of.
I think that's a bad analogy, but I understand your
keep
point.
it together.
I don't believe that I am pouring water in the kitchen, in the vicinity of a sink. Maybe some gets in the sink. That's not what I'm doing. But I understand I understand the feeling behind what you're saying. So
anyway,
I'll try. I will
jump in.
I will take into. I will. I don't mean this in the way that it sounds like. I'll take into consideration what you're saying. I don't mean it like that. Like maybe I will. Maybe I won't. No, I'll keep it in mind from now on.
Okay, teeth. What do you got?
Okay, but also tell me now. Tell me something about what I said.
What do you mean? What do you want me to say?
Well, I'm agreeing. I'm giving you the.
Okay, thank you.
I want you to tell me that, like, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and that you like the freedom and.
Why
whatever.
do you need that from me?
I don't know.
Why do you need that?
Because I don't want to.
What does it even mean at this
wrong.
point? What does it even mean if I just give it to you because you told me to?
Yeah, I know.
You're getting nothing.
Give it to me.
I already told you that I understand.
Tell me.
I understand. That's who you are. You're just like, I just want to do things.
Yeah.
That's how you live.
So insulting.
That is how you live your life. I just want to do things.
That's true. You know what I want is connection.
I'm thinking of something very specific that I don't even know if I should bring up, but it's like, why did you do that giant thing? I don't know. I just wanted to.
Yeah. Well, wasn't this I just wanted to?
That's
I think
it?
a lot of people probably feel the same way.
But that's it? No other thought? No, it just was, that's what I should, it was time.
That
I
is not
wanted it.
true. We had a discussion about that thing.
I wanted to have that day.
And we figured out that in the, like, I talked about it. I thought about, like, what you're talking about. You and you asked me a question and I thought about it. And we then came to the conclusion that, like, yeah, I kind of just wanted to do it.
But that's what blew my mind about.
I know, because I was living in this sort of like, superficial.
I don't want to call it superficial.
Realm.
You wanting, and now we're talking about something that people don't know what it is. So if you want to tell them, just tell them.
I don't want to tell them.
Okay. Well, think about big events in life. There's only a
Yes.
few of them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Things that people
Okay,
do.
continue. We don't need to go.
Now I lost my train of thought on what I was going to say about it. Though.
You don't think it was a superficial
I don't
thing?
think it's superficial to want to do it. It's just interesting to me. It's like, what were the reasons? You didn't, and it applies to this discussion about the podcast and where it goes. It's like, I don't know. That's the conclusion. It's like, I don't know. I wanted to have that day. I wanted to have that, which is fine. A lot of people want that, but usually there's other thoughts that go into that. It's like, okay, I want that, but what does that mean? And what do I need after that? And where does it go after that? And I just thought it was interesting. They're like, I don't know. I didn't think about those things.
Yeah, I didn't.
So we don't have to stick on that anymore. It's just another.
Well, it's all right. It's it is
but
true.
this is going back to me telling you just like to do things. And I understand that. And that does work within this show. Like, obviously it does because we've done it for a very long time. And I think maybe I've gotten a bit lazy or it's been a bit more difficult. But if you go back to the earlier shows, it really was me setting something up and giving it a bit of structure and then letting the conversation loose at that point. And then it would go wherever it went.
Right, but I think that the structure is there. We're going to talk about teeth. I feel so stupid saying it now.
Teeth. So how about those teeth? Like, it feels like a bad stand-up set. It's like there's material there about teeth.
Think about your teeth.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's material there, but you have to shape it and work to get it. People don't just go on stage and throw random thoughts out there. If they're good at it, it's presented in a way that makes it seem easy.
Yeah.
But so how about those teeth? You got them. You got them too. That person doesn't have them.
Yeah, I saw a homeless guy outside that didn't have them. So that's weird.
How about when they smell?
Wait, don't just bring up things that I've said 5 minutes ago and mock them.
But
Rude.
that is. You floss? What do you think of flossing?
You take a string?
Man,
What?
I know. What a strange
When
thing.
did people start flossing?
I'd
How
rather
did people floss in the past? Did they use like cat gut?
I'd rather bake my head in a toaster oven than floss. Am I right?
Toaster ovens.
Just a bit of
Do you
a.
have a toaster or an oven?
I just expect a little bit more out of you.
All right.
Autumn, that's
I
all.
hear you. I don't want to do this topic now, though. We can't.
Well, we're only 40 minutes in. I mean, we can end the show. We can keep it a shorter show. I'm fine doing that.
Yeah.
I know that people probably, it has been happening a lot. You're right. It's been hard for me to get into the episodes because I can't just do it that way. It just feels hack and cheesy.
Yeah.
And there's a way to make it work where it works for you and you get what you want. And I think that's the way it always has been. You usually.
All right. Maybe it's just gotten a little more lazy on my end.
Well, I mean, it could be my end too.
And as the topics, it's almost like I came up with teeth and you were like, oh, yeah? All right. Let's see you fuck this up.
No, I thought that there's plenty to talk about with teeth. There's a lot
Right.
that goes on.
Yeah, but so from my perspective, even though I understand what you're saying and I get it, but from my perspective, it's like, we're not gonna. What I get from you is like, I'm not gonna let this get anywhere interesting because I'm gonna keep bringing it back to a straight line.
It's not a straight line. It's a thread.
It felt like a straight line. Like I would try and go. I remember other episodes where I would try and go somewhere, and you would be like, "Well, no," because, and you'd like bring it back, and it was like, all right,
Example.
I can't. I don't know.
I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I need examples. And also,
No,
it's not
I
a
don't
straight
have
line.
an example.
It's a thread.
I don't have
a
the
thread.
evidence. I don't.
A thread can be squiggly. It can go different, but it's still kind of there. Leading.
Like I said, but I think that my spectrum, right, was a little bit wider than yours. Like you had an idea that it should be this, and I had an idea it should be that, and that's fine. We're refocusing.
See, I've been lazy in the sense that my weeks when it's my topic, I'm just not coming up with anything. And
Right, and then you let me do it, and then I get embarrassed because
But
you tell me that they're bad or I'm doing a bad job.
I'm not saying that. I think when it's your topic, though, I'm leaning on you to set it up a bit more. You're telling me this is what I'm thinking, this is where we're going, and then I can support you and play within that. And when I'm not getting that, it's like, I don't know what to do with this.
Okay,
I have no clue.
You're trying to. We're trying to make a rope, right? And I just keep giving you slack, and there's nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a good example.
You'll be amazed by how supportive I am.
No, I know that. I know you will be.
And on my episodes, I think that's what I tried to do. It's hard. It is. I mean, overall, it's difficult to come up with things to talk about, even if it's as broad as a thing like one topic. It could be anything.
Right.
But the reason it's difficult is like there needs to be, for me, I have to have thoughts on it. I need to, I guess it doesn't have to be complete interest in it. I can talk about things I'm not interested in. I can put in a little bit of work and find some kind of angle of attack. But yeah, it proves to be difficult. What are we, 140 episodes in?
Isn't it more?
It's around there. You know, and there's obviously, with the way the show has shifted a bit, a lot of them have not been specific topics, and it's been, you know, I guess talking more about psychobabble. Which I don't give a shit if people don't like that. It's I think it's interesting to explore topics and then the way people react and behave in certain situations and within those topics. And I enjoy doing that. I like to understand why, even though why quite often is not a question you need to ask, which is what I've come to realize. Asking why, it's like you can figure out why if you want, but the thing is, it's happening. Whatever you're asking why about is still happening, and it's still creating something.
Why might be part of like the
sometimes there is
process,
yeah,
you
but
know, of something.
sometimes there is no answer to why, and it
Right.
doesn't change. I think if people can't get an answer to why, sometimes they just give up. Like, okay, but you know,
Right.
stuff still exists. Other times, the key, I guess, lives in the why. It's like, oh, that's why that's happening. So if I change that, then maybe this thing will change. But anyway, the point is as we talk about things and our behaviors around them and feelings and thoughts, I'm fine doing that.
Yeah, me too.
But I'd like to have a reason. That's all.
Okay. And the reason is you.
Always have to make jokes. Unbelievable with bad fucking songs. What is that
Not
again?
a perfect person.
Who sings that?
And I want you to know you find a reason for me. Who is it? Tell me.
I thought you knew. I don't know. I have to look it up. Oh, it is Hoobastank.
Hoobastank!
Oh boy, fucking Hoobastank.
I like that song though, for real.
Look,
And the reason is you.
yeah, they have fine songs, but when your band's name is Hoobastank, how far can you really go? There's a limit.
Hoobastank.
And I guarantee, as these guys got older, there was an embarrassment. Like, why the fuck are we called Hoobastank? Because when they were 18, someone farted, and the other person said, "Whose butt stinks?"
Hoobastank.
Yeah, whose butt stinks? So Hoobastank. It did
Hoobastank.
devolved into that, and then they're middle aged, like, ugh. Hey, we're Hoobastank.
Speaking of that, there was the outcast. No, not outcast. What are those guys' names? Like, hey, come out and play.
The Offspring.
Yes, Offspring. Thank you.
I hate that from that terrible example. I knew what you were talking about.
I saw them at a performance they were doing, you know, and every single band member was sitting down playing their guitar. I was like, you fucking losers. Stand up.
They got old. Look, they're playing at Chastain Theater. I mean, that's what happens when you get older. You're like, all right, you're all sitting at tables with tablecloths, so I
want to sit down and like sing to you about things I wrote about when I was 16.
It becomes intimate when a person sits down.
Yeah, I guess.
We're just hanging out in the living room. I'll tell you though, who really rocked Chastain Park Amphitheater?
Who?
Eddie Money, before he died.
Really?
Well, after he died. What a stupid thing to say. Eddie Money, after he died. He really rocked the fucking venue.
Post-mortem.
Um,
The only person I saw at Chastain, I saw two things. I saw Bonnie Raitt and Edwin McCain.
well, people lay down and sleep when Edwin McCain's playing.
It really felt like I like Edwin McCain as a person. He's actually like pretty funny and cool. but his music sounds like Christian music. Like but without like the religious stuff. Like I always imagine people with their like arms up, you know, and their eyes closed, like people do in those churches. I'll be your crying shoulder. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Edwin McCain.
I saw Beck.
Yeah, he was boring.
I saw Beck at Chastain.
Did you really?
It's just a strange venue. I don't know why people
So
play
strange.
there. Because you're allowed to stand, but you don't. Nobody does. And I don't know why it matters, but it does feel like you should be standing. You're like, because there's an energy or something. Yeah, it's like, hey, because it's passive, more passive to sit. You're not going to be that engaged anyway. You can sing. That's how you engage with live music. And I guess you could dance. But, it takes a lot of that away. And you're sitting there leaning back and everyone's just kind of, the energy really crashes is the point.
Well, that's what I mean about the Offspring.
Yeah,
Just
no, I
sitting
know.
there.
I know. Especially that band because they weren't that good. So part of their thing was they must put on they must put on a weird show or something, or the high energy show. So them just sitting around. It's like, I really don't care about your music. Your music doesn't lend itself to sitting there on a stool or a chair.
No, it doesn't.
So why are you doing this? Yeah, so I can hear "Pretty Fly for a White Guy" as a reimagined acoustic song.
Pretty Fly for. How did that go?
Give it to me, baby.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that was a
Ew, I hated Offspring.
that was a novelty band. They were a novelty band who kind of hit it big. Anyway, okay.
All right.
Is that
This
it?
was a productive show. It was important.
Are we getting back into teeth next week? Are we going to give it
No,
another
I don't
go?
think so. I'm going to let you come up with the topic. I'm going to, when you tell me what the topic is,
You're going to scoff. And then you're going to then you're going to give me resistance.
I'm just going to do the entire show. I'm just going to keep negging you. And
I'm sorry I'm sorry if you felt as though I was negging you. I wasn't. I think it was just.
And also, I'm a little sensitive to that because of the radio show. Sometimes, you know.
Well, that's your own thing. You work out your fucking anxieties with the other radio show.
No. It was not in those moments.
Don't bring them to me.
No, I'm just saying. Later, I would think like, man, I got like nobody trusting me. Sucks.
It's not. I just expect more.
I know. It's because I wasn't giving you enough reason to trust me.
Just expect more, Autumn. That's all. And I guess
Expect more from myself.
I expect more from you.
I know.
Setting up the show. That's all. That's all. But I apologize if you feel as though I was not on your side, and I was. But once we're in the show,
No.
Look,
apologize if I made you feel as though.
Look, once we're in the show, it's a bit different. If you and I are having this discussion, like if we had a run through of the show and it wasn't being recorded,
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel the need to humiliate you. But once we're on, it's like we're on stage. I know this is recorded and not live. It's like we're on stage now, and I got to do something to let the audience know that I also know what they're thinking. Like, what the fuck? I don't wear braces. I never had braces. It's like, all right, you know what? I'm with you. I'm here. I'm thinking the same thing as you. And that's the reason.
I'm not thinking about the audience.
What's the point of doing this? It's a show. Ultimately, it's a show.
Yeah, but I do this for us.
I'm not
and for
saying.
me.
Okay, but I'm not saying we let the audience dictate the show.
Yeah.
We create the show, but you have.
All right, we don't have to keep talking about it. I get it.
You just have to shape it because other people are listening to it.
I know. I got it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to,
You can still do it your way. You can find a way to do it.
I know. We're meeting in the middle.
Okay, we are in the middle.
I backed up from the middle. Was just like chilling.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's give us that Hoff. We already talked about the pepper sauce. You don't need to do it
Pepper
again.
sauce. Like and subscribe, rate and review.
Okay.
Oh, do I need to end it better than that?
No, it's fine.